America's 52 Stories, with life lessons for personal growth.
He refused to be distracted from an annoying little infirmity that would have defeated most able-bodied men. Instead of suffering from bullet or shell fragment wounds, he was in constant pain from blisters as a result of wearing undersized shoes, going barefoot, and marching nearly 70 miles. To make matters worse, his feet started bleeding just 2 miles from Gettysburg. What really carried him to his destination? He could have been motivated by the threat of being court-martialed for desertion, but there is no record or entry in his diary of any such threat. The pain of bleeding feet was nothing compared to being labeled by his fellow hometown soldiers as a quitter or a coward. The wrong label was motivation enough. He later wrote that during war,
there was a slight tendency to doubt oneself when the bullets buzzed so closely by without touching some part of the body.
What did he mean exactly? Was death teasing him? It was. Was the thought of death, being so close at hand, creating serious doubt that he would live through this ghastly horror? It did. Under these horrific circumstances, self-doubt was real and expected. Yet during the Civil War, it was typical to write of one's feelings in almost neutral terms so as not to give away feelings of vulnerability or cowardice. There was a moment when history ordained Carter as an angel of mercy. After a day's fighting, he surveyed an area where many of the dead, dying, and wounded of Lee's army still lay. He was completely surrounded by the sights and sounds of misery. At one point, he observed a Confederate officer attempting to stop the flow of blood from a leg wound. Troubled by the sight, he rose to approach the dying man and offered him a canteen of water. Looking up, the rebel thanked him for his merciful gesture. Carter's appearance must have given the officer cause to wonder. This enemy soldier looked too young to be a killer. Before long, the two were engaged in a conversation about the battle's progress. Their meeting prompted a spontaneous camaraderie, presumably a shared influence on each other that neither could have predicted. One was led by the other to be merciful, and the other was led to accept mercy. Such meetings were not uncommon in the Civil War. Years later, Carter wrote what must be the most graphic account of the physical results of battle.
Corpses strewed the ground at every step. Arms, legs, heads, and parts of dismembered bodies were scattered about, and sticking among the rocks and against the trunks of trees, hair, brains, and entrails, and shreds of human flesh still hung.
War dismantled any structure of youthful idealism and forced an unwelcome realism on a young Carter who left Gettysburg as a man at the age of 17. Be determined. Determination is self-motivation, an attitude that propels you toward a destination not hampered by limitations of the body. Mental barriers, not physical ones, will always prevent you from achieving your goals. Carter's attitude would not allow physical impediments to get in the way of reaching his final destination. Attitude for Carter had its foundation in honor and courage, doing the right thing at considerable risk to his own life. Face your problems head on. The odds may seem overwhelming, but wheelchair athletes run in marathons and paraplegics operate computers with their jaws. Face your problems head on and work diligently to find solutions. You may have Carter's feet with determination to reach a more positive position in your life. Begin by planning the small steps you must take one at a time. These are the influences that will lead you to your own destination. Acknowledge that you will get some blisters along the way, but you can be a young Carter who never loses faith in your ability to reach your objective. Right now, every student has the right to be thinking, what do I do with this information? Let's start by asking these questions, and you can provide your own answer.